Those of the speakers and the host, and do not necessarily reflect those of Yoakley Scott Corporation and your sports network.
Yeah, I've been closer to Jesus before, so can you help me out? Oh, can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Can you help me out? I've been scared to look in my soul. I've been afraid I would follow the road. Yeah, afraid of the things I've been told.
Hello, everybody. Welcome inside a Monday episode of Running Point on ysnlive.com, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austin Town. I'm Anthony Hartwig, as always, joined by Ty Bartell in a new setting today. What's this?
So you won't believe the craziness too. I guess we're gonna go with story time. So we were kind of just hanging around the Ravenna area yesterday, waiting for the All-Star game, because I know we were waiting word on the storms that were gonna happen too. So
Time froze. Story time was frozen by the universe. Ty tries to get up. You back?
I think I'm back. Are we good?
We're good.
We're
Starting
good.
with story time.
Starting over story time though, but yeah, a DJ came on 3:30 yesterday, 3:30ish, and said that the All-Star game would be postponed. We had nothing going on in the evening too. I already worked in the morning, so the family was up at Geneva for a little house trip, so we came up for the night and staying until probably right after showtime, and then heading back into town to get ready for the All-Star game. But yeah, up at Geneva at the lake for last night too, and just hung out with the fam. So that's where we're at right now.
So you're in Geneva.
Right now, yeah, we're in Geneva. Not dare swimming in that water though; it is freezing. It's a cold day up here today.
Soft.
But no, it should be exciting though. I mean, we should have great weather, blue skies here. So I can only imagine when I've looked at the storm tracker on 21, it looked like we have some good weather in store over at YSU for the softball complex tonight. And that if that's the case, we should be all go ahead for the softball game tonight.
And we got messages from a lot of our players that said they were still good to go. So rosters look slightly different. There are a couple of new additions that we've had to fill a couple of spots, but overall, we had pretty much the same roster that we were going to have on Sunday. So that's all good and squared away. We'll talk a little bit more about that. But first, Ty, we have to recap this huge weekend of sports on YSN, probably the busiest weekend on the network of the summer so far. 38 games between Friday night and Sunday night. Yeah, well, actually, I should say 37 because that All-Star game got moved. But 37 games between Friday and Sunday.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's been a wild ride we've had ahead of us too with these games. And a lot of interesting results that have certainly come in, some upsets too, and some big divisions. So it's been quite an interesting weekend for Class B baseball.
I think what we have to do first is start with the All-Star game and recap the wonderful night that we had at Bobsleyan Park. One, I want to, before we say anything about the game or anything about I just want to thank everyone that was involved in putting it together. Thank all the players for putting their time in to come out and play for us. The two coaches, Gary Niddle and Coach Warner, and their staffs for coming out and being in the dugout and being a little bit of a chaperone for the dugout, and all the other behind-the-scenes people that made things run very smoothly. Everything went smooth that night, and it wouldn't have happened without the wonderful people that took their time to come in and make it happen. So I want to get that out of the way before we recap it. And now, Ty, wow, what a night! What a night, man. First, what were your takeaways? We both got to kind of take it in. We were just mingling with the fans, got to meet some people that we hadn't been able to meet yet. And then we got to talk to some people that we hadn't seen in a while too.
Yeah, it was a great crowd on hand. I mean, you couldn't have asked for, I think, better baseball weather. Honestly, it was a nice hot towards the 7 o'clock hour, but then it got cooled off into a comfortable temperature into the later hours of the evening too. So it was great weather for the game, and I mean, great atmosphere too. Just to get all those all stars onto one field and just seeing all those uniforms donned in one location. It was a great experience. And of course, the scene crew always does a phenomenal job. Red does a great job as the PA announcer. The grounds crew does a phenomenal job making sure that field is in pristine condition for an all-star game such of this magnitude. And then of course you have some great guys like Richie Giuliano, who after putting in a full day at Bobsine Park with all kinds of Class B games, he was able to actually go out and call the All-Star game too, and provided a heck of a call too. I don't know if you saw me, I was listening to Richie's call as much as I could too, as I was sitting there in Bobsine Park, because he does a great job with it. And I mean, if you have a chance to go back and watch that game, it was truly a great night.
8-4, Coach Warner's team gets the victory. It was kind of one of those games where they took an early lead. Coach Niddle tried to come back slowly but surely. It was 8-0 at one point, and Coach Niddle's team never said die, and it was overall a pretty competitive baseball game when you talk about the product put on the field.
Yeah, and absolutely. You look at that game too. It was funny because actually Coach Niddle started bringing all those runs in the ninth inning, and in the ninth inning they had like 12 outfielders in the outfield. So they were finding more open grass with more. They were finding open grass with more guys on the field than with less.
It's like they looked at that outfield and the hitters, and I consider that a challenge. And
challenge accepted.
12 outfielders. I'm still gonna find room to put some balls out there.
They were getting runs too, but it was a great night all around.
Some big performers, some all stars that really shined bright with the stats wise. Everyone shined bright because they were all there for a reason. But Carter Blakeman started the game off with a bang. First pitch of the night, he rips a double to the outfield, then comes around to score. He won the All-Star Game MVP.
And I mean, Crestview Zone, right? I mean, this kid is electric too, and he showcased how you go with an all-star game, right? You come out of the gate swinging, and that's exactly what he did against a guy that is not easy to hit off of, an Andrew Carrilla either. So I mean, he was able to lace a double. But when you got that much star power on one field, anything can happen. But the biggest thing I think that matters in all of this too, and I think you'd agree with me on this, Anthony, is that after the game too, just hearing the kids' conversations with either their parents or with their friends, it was about how much fun they had and how much they enjoyed the experience of the game. And I think that's the bottom line for us too. If they're having a great time, we're having a great time, and that's entertainment for us as well too. So it all works and flows through those kids, man. And that's the biggest part, is that they enjoyed themselves and they truly had a great experience.
This is why I think that baseball/softball are the best sports to have all-star games for, because the game itself can't be too watered down. Like, you're still going to go out there, put 9 positions on the field, unless you're putting 12 outfielders out there. You're still going to go play. You can't water down the game. It's still going to be a competitive baseball softball game. But there are times, in an all-star game where you can let your hair down and have some fun and have an experience. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. You put on a show and you get to have some experience things that you don't really get in the stress of a high school. This game matters if we win or loss kind of atmosphere. But at the same point, you get to go out there and compete, because you can't really water down the game of baseball too much.
Shout out Joe Roth, who played all 9 positions too in that game. Some of these players too came in with some interesting storylines. I thought it was cool seeing Canfield go at each other in the second inning, and we had a couple instances too where we had players going against players. But I think it was Ryan Petra that was on Coach Warner's team. And he was going up against guys like Landon Vital Cheese on the other side for Coach Niddle. So it was a great night.
Also, I got to see a jack because Luca Ricciuti hit a bomb to bring, I believe, 2 runs. I believe it was a 2-run home run. So we got everything we wanted. We even got a 2-run jack.
Luca Raschuta can smack that ball, man. And I mean, he's getting a power stroke like none other, and he's still got another year of eligibility left too. So still some room for growth for this young man going into his senior year next year.
And I knew there were some kids that were going to show up in like swag. Like they come up to the check-in box, they had the shades on, the bling, and I was like, oh man, they're ready. Like I wanted to do like the NFL locker room like walk in where you see what they're wearing, because some of those kids just came in like swagged up, confident, ready to go, and I was like, let's go. Like that
Yeah.
got me too.
JT Popek knows how to
No, he
how to
does. Unfortunately, he couldn't play, but he knows how to do it. And a lot of other kids kind of showed up in the same attitude with the shades and the hats and the uniforms. One thing I loved, seeing all those uniforms on the same field at once. I mean, we do it in not every All-Star game, but it's one of the moments where you get to stop and look and kind of really realize how many teams we have on this wall and how many teams get represented in the All-Star game. It's hard to notice that and respect that when everyone's just wearing the same T-shirt out there, and like we see in some other All-Star games in basketball and baseball. But when everyone's wearing their own team colors, it's one of those times where you really get to look back and say, "Wow, we have a lot of communities here. We have a lot of teams here, and we have a lot of people from different walks of life, because every community is a little bit different. Big schools, small schools, middle-sized schools, didn't really matter. They all kind of came and put on the show.
And I mean, like we said, it was a fantastic night, fantastic experience with great people all around too, and it was just great to have the YSN family, at least in the baseball side of the family. Our YSN family is pretty extended to multiple groups of families, but the baseball side of the YSN family all got together under the lights for one night, and it was really cool to see.
And then we had probably the most remarkable and most memorable moment of the night, and it didn't even come on the field with the baseball game. It came in the seventh inning stretch when Michael Morrow got honored for making the trip to West Point and making the decision to be in our country's military and making that sacrifice to go protect people he doesn't even know. And he got to take a joyous stroll around the base pass, his victory lap, you could call it, to meet the people that care about him most, and then meet his family at home plate. We got that captured on YSN Live's broadcast, and I kind of wanted to share this video. And if you did miss it, if you weren't there and kind of missed the call, this is on our YouTube page as well, so you can go there, you can go there and watch it whenever you want. But could not pass up the opportunity to play this for you if you missed it.
One of the players you see here tonight leaves for West Point to defend our freedoms and our country. Michael Morris, can you hand you up here? Listen out, okay? Yeah. Everybody, see what he does. Less than 24 hours away from changing the rest of his life and defending our country. Ladies and gentlemen, this young man at 18 years old signed up to defend the freedoms of people he doesn't even know. So tonight, we're going to give him his day, his moment, right here tonight in front of all of you, in front of the entire world on YSN. Red, hit it. Mike, everybody out here, there's people around the field. Take your victory lap, give your guys high fives all the way around, okay?
Like I was there and I saw it, and I still get goosebumps from watching it.
There wasn't many dry eyes in the stands that when you looked around too during that time. And I mean, credit DJ keeping an immaculate composure through it too. Because if you know anything about DJ, and if you've been following YSN for a minute, you know that DJ has a nice relationship with Michael Morrow too. And you've seen there's been quite a few interviews you could find on ysnlive.com that he's conducted with Michael Morrow, close with the Morrow family, as DJ is with so many families in the YSN extended family, as we know, but the Moros and Michael especially too. There's a close relationship there, and for DJ to hold that kind of composure through it too, because if we know how much Michael means to him and how much, of course, DJ means to Michael and that whole family. That was truly a special moment, and it's a special moment for us here at YSN who've gotten to cover Michael for so many years too, and sees so many great highlights. I mean, Iceman, right? Iceman in the box. The kid was incredible on that state championship run and in all kinds of clutch moments for the baseball team.
You know, the coolest part of that moment for me, you know, personally watching it in the ballpark, I got a chance. I kind of sat right behind home plate to watch it because I wanted to get like the most reaction. I wanted to hear the most people react to it as I could. And like hearing how much, because we kept this like no one kind of knew it was going to happen other than the people that were involved in it. So we kind of kept it a secret, try to keep it under wraps so people could kind of rawly experience those emotions and the reactions to from the crowd. The I don't they were taken back that it was happening. It was one of those moments where like they couldn't, you know, they were so surprised by it happening, and when you have those raw emotions like that aren't, you know, prepared for, those are really fun to cool to watch, and seeing everyone kind of, you were in that video, the claps never once stopped. You know, it's hard to do this for 3 minutes without your arms wanting to.
Yeah,
The claps never stopped, and I think part of that came from the unexpected. Is that unexpectation? Is that a word? The unexpectation of it happening, and you just feel those raw emotions because you're not prepared to go through that experience.
yeah. I didn't know exactly what was happening, and I know you're like, I want to see this, and you started going for home plate, so I just followed you, and that's exactly where I stationed myself too. But what a cool moment, no doubt too. As I've been seeing pictures too, and I've been trying to follow up with it at West Point now, and I think we were just seeing the pictures yesterday too. I'm waiting for the haircut pics, right? The haircut pics are the next one, is what I was told too. And we had Michael on during the season, and you know how much he loved his hair, and he talked about his hair too. So I mean, losing the locks.
That's a light joking sacrifice that he's making, but he's making so many more by making that decision to protect us all, people that he doesn't even know, people that he does know as well. By joining the military and heading over to West Point, we couldn't thank him enough for not just all of that, but being there last night, playing in the game, and his family was able to come. And we are so excited that we were able to share that moment with him and his loved ones and kind of give him a victory lap before he left for West Point.
Yeah, fantastic guy, and Michael Morrow, and we wish him all the best in his future endeavors too. And we couldn't say how proud we are of him here at the YSN family, and we know he's just going to go on to continue doing great things.
The night went off without a hitch, and it went all smooth. Everything went smooth, and that's kind of like we said on Friday. That's kind of the nice little bow on the high school baseball season.
It was like you said, when you have all those unis too, high school uniforms under one field, one venue, under those kind of lights and that kind of atmosphere. It's that nice cherry on top of it, taking some of the best from each team. And obviously, like we said, there are some names you wish that could be there, but we know the schedule's strenuous during summer too. A lot of these kids looking to get recruited, go to the next level, so we understand that. But still, getting some of the best in the area to don their high school unis one more time. It's kind of that perfect final dessert, right, for the main course of the high school season.
Anthony Warder continued his long streak of not giving up an earned run in that Louisville uniform. I think that's going to be.
I think that was the first time I've seen him pitch live too, because I've seen him in video. But I think the only other times I've seen Louisville, I've never seen Anthony Warner pitch. So the first time I've seen him live, And I mean, my initial reaction, I think you were next to me. Someone was next to me. It was just like, he's nasty on the mound. Like his control is impeccable. I mean, he knows how to manipulate the zone, go north south on you, go east west on you. He knows how to play the game. And the thing is, he could throw almost all of his pitches for strikes consistently. And that is huge too. When you could throw a breaking ball for a strike and then you could start running it off the plate and then get hitters to chase. I mean, that's why this kid's been electric all season.
And, now he gets to end his career by saying, hey, the last probably 2 months now, probably goes back 2 months now. Last 2 months of my career in Louisville, I never gave up an earned run.
Yeah, I said at one point, I'm done and just quit. I just quit giving up runs at that point.
I'm done giving these runs they're tired. I'm done giving them up.
Yeah,
And that's a quality lineup he went up against. He pitched 2 innings.
It was an all-star lineup he went up against.
That's what I love seeing. Like, obviously, Anthony Warner, he's used to going up against really good elite lineups. But then I saw, other pitchers from other schools that maybe their schedule doesn't lend itself to seeing elite lineups night in and night out go up against these all-stars and still hold their own. Mark Bunch had a great outing in his time there. And that's the guy that, Middle Ridge doesn't play, the big guns of the high school baseball scene in the area. So he got to kind of prove himself that, hey, I can go up against the area's best and hold my own. I mean, I thought seeing him pitch was a pleasant treat.
When you could throw 2 consecutive no-hitters,
Right.
like in a season, I don't care what level of baseball you play. I said it before and I'll say it again. You got good stuff. You got stuff that works on the mound, and that's exactly what Mark Bunch proved. And I mean, we've had the opportunity to talk to Mark Bunch on the show before, and I mean, the kid is as humble as can be too. But he is dominating when he goes on that mound, man. He just goes in game face on and just goes to work. And when he goes to work and he's got his best stuff on, you don't have much success against him. He proved that quite a few times this season.
So it was a great time. You can find a recap of the whole game with a couple of post-game interviews and that video of Michael Moro's trip around the base pass on ysnlive.com. It was a great night of baseball, and it was one that we'll never forget. We can't wait for the 3rd annual Baseball All-Star Game to come around next year.
Yep, we're excited to continue hosting this and continue making the next one better than the last.
Now, for those of you that maybe weren't around YSN yesterday, the softball game was supposed to be yesterday. It has been postponed to tonight. So we're gonna preview the softball all-star game because it got moved from last night to tonight. The weather last night was so we didn't know. We didn't like it. The radar kept saying like it's gonna bring a heavy storm into Youngstown. We didn't want to risk it with all the players that were traveling from tournaments just to get to our game. We didn't want to make them come 2.5 hours to say, hey, sorry, it's starting to storm. We can't play. So we had to get a little bit ahead of it and be a little bit proactive. So we ended up postponing the game, I think around 3 o'clock. We made that decision in well enough time to get the information out to people and make sure everyone didn't rush home from Marion or Tennessee or wherever they were coming from to play in this game. So it has been moved to tonight at YSU Softball Complex. Ty, you and I will be on the call, and a couple of new faces that have filled some spots on the roster. Tori Strines is now going to play in this all-star game to represent Boardman. So will Maddie Lester will be representing Boardman. We have Reagan Schick from Lakeview will be representing the Bulldogs in the roster. We have McKenna Hogan, who's going to be stepping in to represent Austintown Fitch. And then we have Caitlin Pleska, who was going to be representing Columbiana. So those are the new faces that you'll see tonight. And then the new faces, Nate Schick going to be coaching Reagan Schick. So he'll be able to coach Reagan one last time before they say goodbye to the sport of softball as a duo.
Yeah, that'll be a cool moment too. We've had Nate on a couple of times and a great coach. I personally love Coach Schick, and I love what his mentality is with that team. And that's going to be a cool story now, and getting to be a part of that tonight is going to be awesome.
So it is going to be awesome. And one of the things, like the baseball game, we're going to see a bunch of different uniforms, and we're going to be able to see very real how many communities we get to cover and how many families we get to impact, which is one of my favorite parts of the job.
It's gonna get pretty packed in YSU softball complex.
We're gonna
tonight.
fill that hill. We're gonna fill those outfield bleachers. I don't think there's gonna be standing room only at YSU, I would say.
Yeah, I would venture to agree with you on that one, and I think you better get there a little early if you want to get yourself a good spot.
Everything's the same as Sunday. The gates open at 5:30. Players, that's when your check-in starts as well. So try to get there at 5:30 to check in. Uniforms, you wear your high school uniforms if you can. Doesn't matter which one, whichever your favorite uniform is. And then show up and let's shine bright for the All-Star game. $5 is the entry fee, and all the proceeds of that go to the Project MKC, just like they were going to go to on Sunday. So nothing has changed as far as the time, the rules, the things we expect from the players, and where the money goes. Nothing like that has changed. The only thing that has changed is the day. It's going to be June 27th now instead of June 26th, which is kind of cool because last year's All-Star game was June 27th. So we are going exactly 1 year to the date from last year's softball All-Star game.
And that's kind of a cool thing to have both All-Star games back-to-back years fall on June 27th as well. So it'll be a fun night tonight, and I'm glad that we were able to get a lot of our All-Stars to come back for the Monday night and graciously giving us their time again and be able to participate in this. It's still going to be a great night, and we're still going to do it like nobody else does it in the area too. It's showtime tonight.
Let's be honest. I'm sure there are a handful of players that were kind of happy that they got moved to Monday because then they didn't have to go from Marion and speed down the highway to try to get to the All-Star game. So
That's fair.
Be fresh. Everyone's going to be ready to go, and we're going to have some fun time.
I'm excited for tonight, certainly.
We also encourage people to bring their memorabilia if they want to get stuff signed from the players. We'll have ample opportunity to get autographs from players and coaches before, during, and after the game tonight. So if you want a softball signed or you want, a bat or a helmet or whatever you want signed, bring it, and we'll make sure that you get your favorite players' autographs tonight.
Yeah, we always like making sure the merch gets signed up too, and the players love making sure you guys get your autographs. So make sure you have plenty of merch to get signed.
Autograph sessions are the best, and then we nailed it in the All-Star game for basketball. Baseball game saw plenty of players giving out autographs. One, it makes the players feel cool because hey, we're signing autographs, but then it also gives the younger generation the chance to really lock in and kind of meet their role models and see what they're going to be in the future.
Yeah, it's exciting times too, and I mean, like you said, these girls are going to be a lot of role models to a lot of young eyes that are going to be in the stands tonight too. So there's a lot of watchful eyes that are going to be on that field in just a few years from now.
Yeah, we're going to see the future of YSN in the stands watching the All-Stars of today. So the All-Stars of tomorrow are going to be watching the All-Stars of today, which is one of the really fun parts of these games.
Yeah, absolutely.
So once again, tonight, 7 o'clock at YSU, gates open at 5:30. Admission is $5 per person, and they go to the Project MKC as far as the proceeds from tonight's game. So we're excited, and we're going to take a break. Be back. We're going to recap the rest of the weekend because there was a lot to get to. We're going to preview some other stuff that's going on tonight with the Little League softball Little League districts. We have the brackets out. We'll go over the brackets and much more on Running Point, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
21 News delivers the news as it happens, using the latest technology from where it happens.
Live here outside of the Holy Cross.
On air, online,
Wednesday afternoon weather update.
Very dangerous.
and on the 21 News social media platforms.
I'm on the road right now.
21 News, the Valley's only locally owned source for trusted news since 1953.
As fine as the eye can see, the finest hardwoods from the finest trees. Made for your home and within your means, Baird Brothers will help fulfill your dreams. Let life and light come shining through in quiet morns, and heavy traffic, too. Find your easy-to-afford fine hardwood floors and doors and more at BairdBrothers.com.
Hi, this is Tommy Clem, owner of WRS Insurance Solutions.
WRS Insurance Solutions is a local independent agency that specializes in life, Medicare, long-term care, and disability products. Call us at 330-953-3722 or visit us at wrsinsuranceSolutions.com to learn more.
Good luck to all the student athletes in the Valley.
For a great vehicle and a great experience, come to Boardman Mitsubishi today. As always, our full lineup of Mitsubishi models comes with a standard 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Boardman Mitsubishi, your hometown Mitsubishi dealer since 1999.
But now you can see every school, to the smallest school, to the intermediate schools, to the schools in the outlying areas. It gives you coverage that you could just never get to before. It's something that's great to experience, and it's opened up a whole new wave of sports viewership. The possibilities are endless here at YSN. Push the envelope every day. Try something new. If it works, great. If it doesn't, well, let's try another angle, and we just keep moving forward. My name is Mike Ackelson, and my sports network is your sports network.
Reliability, innovation, scale. These three values are those we look forward to in our business and in our team. If you're ready for a reliable employer who looks constantly to think outside the box in big ways, we're ready for you. Apply now. Help us push the envelope and deliver success. Envelope 1. Take that one extra step.
Before the lights come on, before the workday begins, before a long day is ended, or it's time to have fun. It all starts with the people at Joe Dickey Electric. From replacing a light fixture in your home to building a substation for your business, no job is too big or too small. The people of Joe Dickey Electric power them all. Joe Dickey Electric, over 60 years of powering the Mahoning Valley.
You're not waiting to see what the world has in store for you. It's more about what you have in store for the world. All you need is the opportunity. All you need are the resources of a large university and the advantages of a personalized academic setting where you can experience new worlds in the arts and sciences, business, and education and make them your own. We are where you shape your future. We are Youngstown State University and proud.
WRS Wealth Advisors, the area's premier wealth and retirement specialists, located on South Avenue in Boardman.
Welcome back to YSNLive.com. Running Point brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. I'm Anthony Hartwig, as always, joined by Ty Bartell, who moved spots. Now in
just
a different
back a little bit. No, it's still the same room. Just back a little bit.
Oh man, Ty's always changing things up, making us stay on our toes. Still in the red though.
Yeah, still down. Just repping the state, right? Right, just repping the state.
Ty, we had a lot of Class B action over the weekend, and I want to get to the final score results of those. Some interesting scores. Which one popped out at you the most? As I'm looking at Friday. And Friday night, yeah, we'll go back to Friday first. What, the Astro Falcons?
Friday, first and foremost, how do you not say Whiting over Astro, right? I mean, that's the game I think that highlights Friday is Whiting going and getting the 5-4 upset on Astro. Now, credit Astro may not have had their full lineup, but of course, that's no excuse. And of course, Whiting, you see, takes advantage of it promptly. In this game, Astro did what they normally do, jumped out to an early advantage. They were up 2-0. Whiting grabs a 3-2 lead in the top of the fourth, spotting 3 runs in that inning. Astro responds, takes a 4-3 lead in the bottom of the fourth, and then Whiting holds or goes being down to Astro, I should say, 4-3 up until the 7th inning. So 2 innings of no score on the board for the 5th and the 6th. 2 runs put up from Whiting in the top of the 7th gives them the 5-4 advantage and the eventual win. But how about this too? Whiting only 2 hits against Astro in this win. They walked 7 times. So it was timely hits and walks and only 1 error by Astros defense. So Astros really pitched a clean game, but some timely hits and of course some walks came back to haunt Astro as Whiting was able to do just enough to get the win. And I think you got to really just shout out in this game Mason Syke, the guy that pitched for Astro. He went solid 5 innings, 2 hits, 3 runs given up, and 3 of those were earned, but still a great outing nonetheless. And then, of course, you got to go on the other side, credit Whiting too, the 1-2 punch. Mark Conte goes 4 innings, allows 2 hits, no runs, giving up only 1 walk. And then Isaac Lebrich gives up 3 hits, 4 earned runs, but shuts things down in 3 innings. Their combined effort eventually gave Whiting that 5-4 victory. And boy, oh boy, did that shake things up, I think.
Also on Friday night, Ty, the Prospects offense exploded to an 11-1 win over Dura Edge. And big win for the Prospects. Robert Camino was a perfect 3 for 3 on the day, and he had 2 RBI for the Prospects. Marco Masucci had 2 RBI on a 1 for 2 day. Ethan Prout went 3 for 4 with an RBI. Brandon Popio went 2 for 4 with 2 runs scored. Rafe Bonifay, who we've had on the show, he went 2 for 4 with an RBI. So the offense, it's like you keep just saying names. You get some RBIs, you get a multiple hit day, you get a 3-hit day. Really awesome offensive performance for the Prospects against Dura Edge.
And for the Prospects too, it was just them taking their frustrations out. They were dropping some close games, I think, and they were like, all right, we're not getting into a close one here. And they took their frustrations out on Dura Edge, and boy, oh boy, did they come out swinging. The Prospects get a nice win on Friday night.
No more close games. No, we win.
No more. We're done.
But also not to be overshadowed by the offense is Brody Myers, who gave up 1 run on 6 hits in 7 innings and struck out 6. So he really pitched well, kept Dura Edge in check. Jack Cale went 1 for 3 for Dura Edge. He collected the only RBI of the night. Chris Tarquino, he went in was the only player to get multiple hits. He went 2 for 3. Anthony Butto took home a 1 for 3 day as well. So Dura Edge, those were some offensive stars for the Edge as they lost 11-1 to Prospects.
You mentioned offensive stars. How about this 10-5 win for Creekside, as Creekside has been on a tear in 18U, and they are gunning for some spots in this in these standings. And how about this? We mentioned Mark Bunch in the All-Star game. Friday night, he had a great night as well. The complete game, gave up 4 earned runs, but 8 hits allowed, 5 strikeouts, walked 409 pitches as he pitched Creekside to the victory in that complete game against the Athletics. But another nice win for Creekside as they put up 10 runs of offense. And really the biggest crooked inning came in that 6th inning. Would you imagine that Creekside was actually down 5-3 up until the 6th inning? And then that bottom of the 6th, a 7 spot by Creekside. You talk about crooked numbers. That was all the offense they needed. Took a 10-5 lead there. And I think Athletics were left stunned by the 7th.
Some of their big offensive performers for Creekside Fitness, Danny Flynn went 2 for 3 with an RBI, a pair of RBI actually. Tyler Kammerer went 2 for 3 with a walk, 2 runs scored, 2 RBI. And then Andrew Kappen went 1 for 4 with a pair of RBI. So those were some of the big offensive stars for Creekside.
Big win too. Big win for Creekside as they continue to keep pace.
Had to cough real quick, but then we go into the offensive performance for Athletics, who still put up a pretty good offense. It was Baden Pipely who went 1 for 4 with an RBI. Seth Spooner, one of his teammates, went 3 for 3 with 2 runs scored. And then Jeff Brenner got an RBI as well for the Athletics.
Yeah, it was great offensive showing by some of the bats for Athletics, but it came down to that one crooked number inning from Creekside.
Crooked innings will get you a lot of wins.
They will too, especially when you got good pitchers like that can toe the rubber for the complete game.
Let's go to some Saturday scores as we venture over. And Athletics 16, you got the 8-6 win over Eagleware. A close game against the Eagleware team that's showing some fight, even though they're at the bottom of the list.
Yeah, and I mean that's a nice win for Athletics as well too, to try to continue keeping pace, because those standings are getting a little bit rocky too, with some teams dropping a couple of games, and Athletics now though getting a nice win though in the season against Eagleware. Like you said, it was a battle across divisions too, so Hernandez division getting another victory against the Livy.
Also in 16U, Dura Edge with a big 2-1 win over Avalanche.
That is a nice win over Avalanche, and that's a battle of a couple of second place teams, and it kept it really, for the time being, kept Avalanche a little bit off of Whiting's tail.
And Avalanche couldn't afford another loss. They did their job. They beat Whiting earlier in the week. They needed to keep pace, and Dura Edge knocked them down a little bit.
Yeah, they did, and hope was a little bit dwindled for Avalanche after that one too, after getting that big win over Whiting and then suffering a defeat like that.
Close game between Astro Falcons and Ballistic in 16U, but the Falcons came out on top 4-2.
Yeah, that was a nice win for Astro too, who they found some sort of fire and they're continuing to roll.
But the Avalanche were helped out by Nightline, and Nightline comes in like they have been all season. They throw a monkey wrench into everything. They beat Whiting 3-0.
I mentioned this, I think, on Friday. Like, you don't want to play Nightline right now in 18 or 16U. They're feeling some type of way, and they don't care what the storyline is in the season. They're just coming to play baseball, and they take another win and keep Avalanche now in the hunt. They're just kind of like, what do you call those? Like, not anti-heroes, I guess, right? Where they're just like they come in. They're kind of like they just kind of come in. They set things and they make things crazy in the standings too. They set things ablaze in the standings.
Just a catalyst for chaos. That's all.
Yeah, there you go. That's a great nickname for them. That's exactly what Nightline is. They're the catalyst for chaos in all divisions, it seems like.
Going to 18U for Saturday, Creekside gets the 6-0 win over Dura Edge. Whiting in the 18U got the 3-2 win over Prospects.
That's a nice win.
Then the Astro Falcons made quick work of the Prospects, 14-1.
Yeah, that's a huge win for Astro as well, as they're continuing to roll. How about this though, Ant? The Nightline getting the big 13-3 win against Athletics on Saturday, and that was coming off of winning a close one against Ballistic on Friday. This team, they're in some sort of mood right now, and they're gunning for the top. And right now, if we look at that standings too, you're seeing.
We'll get to the standings. We'll get to all the standings after the results are in. I want to do the results and then get a big picture of the standings as they sit after a busy weekend. But we'll get back to 18U scores. Avalanche beat Ballistic 7-6, a very competitive game.
Yeah, nice win for Avalanche there too against Ballistic, who is always a competitive team in all divisions, it seems like.
The Astro Falcons scored 28 runs in their 2 games on Saturday. They win 14-2 over Eagleware.
Yeah, and Astro, just their offense is on some sort of tear right now, continuing to roll with big performances.
Back down to 16U, Creekside beat Prospects 13-3.
Creekside, yeah, their 16U too has been looking strong as of late.
And then Ballistic made Prospects 16U day a little bit worse as they made a 12-4 victory.
Yeah, and it's a nice win. It's a nice win for them too, as they can get themselves some confidence ahead of the tourney.
The rivalry is strong between the Falcons and Creekside in 16U as the Astro Falcons took the 12-11 narrow victory.
Yeah, that's a big win too in a close affair, and those close wins are huge, especially towards the end of the season.
Whiting bounced back nicely, 13-1 win over Dura Edge.
Yeah, they needed that win as well too to try to keep pace in the standings.
Avalanche bounced back as well, 19-6. They put up a big number against Athletics.
Yeah, and I mean it was kind of like an avalanche of offense after a while, just couldn't stop the scoring.
But good usage of puns right there. Nightline 16, you got the 14-4 win over Eagleware to keep on keeping on.
Yeah, another nice win for them as well. Winning against the teams that they should right now in this point of the season.
Some 14U scores. Whiting got the win over Avalanche 16-1, and then Avalanche took the win 1-0 in game 2.
Splitting them down the middle.
The Astro Falcons beat Ballistic 11-0, and then they went and beat them in game 1, 9-5. So the Astro Falcons move on, and Avalanche move on in 14U because they got the win in game 1, 23-7. And then, of course, they split the 2 games on Sunday. So Avalanche move on, winning 2 out of 3. And then the Astro Falcons move on by sweeping Ballistic. So Avalanche, Astro both move on in the Class B playoffs in 14.
Should be a fun matchup, too.
Should be. I think it'll be a pretty good matchup. And Ty, now that we have all the results in, let's look at the broad scope of the standings. You want to start with 18U and go down the line?
Yeah, I mean, in 18U, it's still Astro leading the way at 19-2. Creekside, second place, 17-5. Avalanche is 13-9. In third, Nightline is in fourth at 11-10. Dura Edge is 10-11. And fifth and sixth, Ballistic is 10-12. In seventh, it's Athletics at 10-12. Prospects at 8 and 6 and 15. Whiting in ninth at 6 and 15, and Eagleware in 10th at 5 and 16.
Yeah, let's talk about it for a little bit. These standings and how they're kind of shaping up. As you know, the last time we looked at it, there was that big log jam in the middle, and now it's kind of separated itself a little bit. You have one team in Nightline that has separated themselves. Now they're solidified in fourth place at 11-10. A couple teams still tied at 10 wins, but it is Ballistic and Athletics that have one more loss. So still no Dura Edge, just one half game, I should say, separated between Ballistic and Athletics. So still a 3-team logjam with 10 wins. But Nightline has gone from, 5 wins not too long ago, and they were in, I think, 7th place, and now all of a sudden they've jumped all the way up to 4th alone with an 11-10 record, and they are one game above 500.
Yeah, and I mean it's been a nice little run that Nightline has been on, and I mean looking at just exactly what they've done this season, it was looking a little bit bleak. I mean, especially towards the middle of the season, after getting that win against Astros, they fell off a bit, dropping 3 in a row against Athletics, Astros, and Avalanche. But since that point, they've been on a tear, winning now 6 of their last 7 games, and that's included a 4-game win streak now. And that 4 games, they've beaten Creekside, they've beaten Whiting, they've beaten Ballistic, and they've beaten Athletics. And Ballistic, Athletics, Creekside at the top of the standings. Ballistic, Athletics was in the middle of the pack with Nightline, and they had to beat them to jump them, and that's exactly what they've done. And they have their sights set right now on that tournament, because you look at it, top 4 teams right now in the standings and how things are shaking out for 18U right now. It's pretty wild, because you see that they've beaten Nightline, has beaten Astro, Creekside, and Avalanche this season, and all 3 of those teams just above Nightline.
Their game against Astro Falcons that was scheduled for last night got postponed. So their next game on the schedule is tonight. They are slated to play Avalanche. They will be the away team on Scene 3 at 5:30.
That's going to be an interesting game too, because you beat Avalanche now. Imagine that, you get the season win against Avalanche in the season, regular season. That's huge for confidence boost. That's going to be huge for Nightline.
And you look at it, I believe that Nightline is that's a team that is above them in the standings.
Yeah,
Right,
Avalanche are
third.
just above Nightline
So
in the
it's in third place versus fourth place in the standings tonight on scene 3.
Yeah, and of course, not a case right now where Nightline can jump, being a game and a half back. I think Avalanche have to make one up, if I'm not
Right.
mistaken, or Nightline has to make one up actually.
But you win tonight, then all of a sudden you're just a half game back, which that
You're
half
still
game's going to
more.
even itself out eventually. So you win tonight if you're Nightline, you're sitting really good right on the heels of that third place team.
Well, if they win tonight, the biggest thing is you'll have the same number in that loss column as Avalanche. You both will have 10 losses, and it'll be Nightline at 12-10, Avalanche at 13-10. But hey, Nightline just needs to win that one game, and if both teams are sitting at 13-10, you got the season win on Avalanche. Then you got 2 wins on them on this season, so you can jump them on that point alone.
Absolutely, you can. And you look at some of the other games on the slate tonight. We'll look at the whole schedule a little bit later, but it's going to be a really interesting week as we end the Class B season down the stretch.
It is going to be an interesting week, and of course, I think if you start with 18U, I mean, we'll talk about this matchup a little bit later, but Astro got to go up against Creekside, and that's still.
It is the last week of the regular season, so here we go, home stretch.
It's 1 versus 2 and 3 versus 4 tonight in the standings for 18U. I mean, how much more drama can you ask for? And I got some great voices behind it too if you can't make the game.
All right, but let's go, before we get to the game schedule tonight, let's go look at the 16U standings, and we'll start with the Livy division as we pop them up. And right now it is still Whiting leading. Avalanche just that one game back after both of them lost on Saturday, but then they both bounced back with wins. So they're keeping pace. But Creekside right on their tail, 12-5, just 2 games back of Whiting. And then it is Ballistic and Eagleware rounding out the rest of the Livy division. Ballistic sitting at 8-9, and Eagleware still looking for their first win of the season.
Creekside, too, was on a 3-game winning streak before dropping that game to Astro 11-12 yesterday, and that would obviously been a big win for Creekside, trying to keep pace with Avalanche sitting right behind. But they have a huge opportunity this upcoming Tuesday. They're at Avalanche. So you look at that, and you look at the case of where the standings are. Creekside all of a sudden is knocking on the door saying, hey, have you forgotten about me? Because you might have written me off earlier in the season, but hey, I'm back now. They're knocking on Avalanche's door. And we were talking Avalanche being the Cinderella story, trying to knock Whiting off of that perch that they've been on all season. But Creekside's now all of a sudden saying, hey, why are we even considering Avalanche right now? They got a matchup Tuesday, and this is going to be a big one too, seeing who's going to take that second place.
Creekside is like that guy you see outside waving on the window, just waiting for you to let him in.
Y'all must have forgot about me.
I'm still here. And you look at the Hernandez division tie. It's kind of shaped up. Astro Falcons have a 5-game lead over Dura Edge. So I believe that's clinched. I don't think they have enough games to make up, if I'm not mistaken.
The biggest thing you look at Astro too, 7-1 record in their division. They've taken care of business. But here's the biggest thing: there's no hotter team in 16U right now. Now that Whiting's dropped some games, then the Astro Falcons, they are on right now, I believe, an 8-game tear. Let me double check this too, just to make sure. But I think, 8 games in a row now. After that win against Creekside, Astro has won in a row, and those 8 games has really gotten themselves some space in the standings. They have 5 games left in the season, though.
They're 5 games back. I mean, they're 5 games ahead. But if you want to look at the overall standings on who's going to be the best team in 16U, doesn't matter because they're split in 2 divisions. But they're 1 game back of Whiting as far as if they want to put that flag as the best team in the 16U division.
And Coach Sabella will say, too, for Astro that this team was just kind of figuring out their identity. We've talked to some Astro players earlier in the season, and that was certainly the case. They were just trying to figure themselves out, but they figured themselves out Right at the right time. And if you look at the schedule too, and big wins against multiple teams on this slate for Astro, and the biggest ones I'm looking at going across to the Livy division, which has been the stronger division that we've seen this season. They got that big win against Creekside, and I think that kind of proved it and solidified it. But you also look back on this winning streak. 2 big wins against Dura Edge, who was in second place and really only a game back of Astro at one point. The first one was a 4-2 win, but it was really that game where Dura Edge was the home team and Astro put up that 15-0 victory that kind of removed all hope, I think, of any other team competing with Astro in that Hernandez division.
It'll be very interesting when Whiting goes up against Astro one more time on Thursday.
That's going to be a great matchup too, and I think that's one everyone should circle on their calendars. If you can make it to the ballpark, I think you should. If you can't, you should definitely check out ysnlive.com, because that's not one you're going to want to miss. I think this is a battle of 2 powerhouses going up against each other. I haven't seen two mega powers like this go up against each other since Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla in 1974 came out. So this is going to be two titans clashing on this one. You're going to want to see this.
You didn't go for Godzilla versus Kong. You went for the Mechagodzilla.
That is a good one too. I'm more of a Godzilla fan though, so I draw back to the actual.
He won 2 out of 3 fights in the new movie. If you haven't seen it, spoiler alert. If you have, sorry, I should have said that.
Spoiler alert. He's 2 for 1 against. He's 2 and 1
against Kong. I think you can firmly say if you watch those fights that he won 2 of them.
He's got 2 wins on Kong. That's how Anthony scores it. These are just facts.
And then they both kicked Mechagodzilla's butt together.
So for sure. But that's going to be a great matchup. A lot of great matchups for 18U and 16U at Bob Scene Park as the season runs out.
That game, by the way, Whiting versus Astro, will be on Scene 1, so it's going to be highlighted on the biggest stage at 5:30 on Thursday. They'll have a
with
game.
The great voices of YSN behind it, but also the great voice of Red and PA over it too. You can't beat that guy.
They'll both have games in between on Tuesdays. Tuesday will be 16U night as always, but it'll be a good time on Thursday when those 2 teams lock horns.
Yeah, and it should be great weather ahead too. This week looks beautiful ahead.
Well, I know a lot of people in the area, farmers and people that have gardens, were wanting that rain because it's been kind of a drought, to be honest, in the Northeast Ohio region. But the rest of the week looks beautiful. Storm Tracker 21 app will have the high tonight at 75. 76 is the high. And then at game time for the All-Star game, 73 and sunny. Beautiful softball weather. Not too hot, not too cold. Goldilocks, just perfect.
Goldilocks, I like it too.
I called Ian O'Brien Goldilocks on Saturday because he was saying it was too hot, but he doesn't like it too cold. I was like, man, you're Goldilocks with your weather, man. Gotta have it. That's right. So for the Goldilocks weather fans, it's gonna be a good one tonight. You're gonna be right in the mid-70s.
Yeah, it'll be a perfect night, I think, for softball weather, and I'm excited for tonight too. It's always like a nice little cool breeze in the air.
You said the week ahead. I mean, you got 76 tonight is the high, 79 the high tomorrow, 84 the high on Wednesday, which isn't too hot. I mean, it's right in that nice summer realm.
Yeah.
It gets a little bit hot on Thursday as the warm front comes in. This is my meteorology. The warm front comes in, heats us up a little bit on Thursday, which allows for those storms to come in a little bit. Small chance of storms over the weekend on Friday and Saturday. So that's my best Andrew DePaulo.
I was gonna say, I was just gonna shout out Andrew DePaulo too. I'm like, you're trying to be DePaulo on here with your.
If you look right here in this area,
no, you can't be DePaulo, man. He's a legend.
Yeah, in YSU, we each had to take one of the I guess segments of the video production was trying to do a segment of weather on the green screen, and it's hard, way harder than it looks, because you have no idea what you're doing it all blind, and for the most part you have to improv it all, because you can write some of it on the teleprompter, but at the end of the day you're like, we're seeing this over here, and it's a lot harder than it looks. So that's my daily shout out to Andrew. We know you do a good job, and the whole Storm Tracker 21 team as well do a good job down there at 21 WFMJ. And luckily, they're calling for good weather tonight.
You should definitely go check out Storm Tracker or check out 21 WFMJ's channel too if you want actual good reports on the weather. I mean, Anthony Anthony can get you there a little bit,
I
but
can give him some words. I can
throwing guesses out there.
give you the dew point for this morning. Give you some words. But I'll leave it to the professionals.
Our friends over at WFMJ will certainly take care of you as far as that. And that's what I've been checking too on Storm Tracker. Week ahead looks beautiful, so this is a full go for baseball, softball weather.
We did nothing yesterday but check out the Storm Tracker 21 app to see where the radar was looking, how it was trending, what the chances were to get the game in. And we saw a lot of orange, green, and yellow coming into our neighborhood. DJ said it best on his live. It looked like Nickelodeon was coming to town with the slide. So we made a decision, and it will be tonight. And on that note, we have this QR code. I'm going to put it up on the screen for a little bit. You can scan this to get a digital program of the rosters tonight if you want a digital program. I think we'll have printouts tonight as well. But the digital program QR code, I'm going to leave it up across my face for a little bit more so you can have the chance to take a picture of that with your phone, and it will get you the roster for tonight's All-Star games, both teams, Team Chick and Team Pizzulo.
I'm gonna have to take a picture of it. I gotta see if it works for us, Ant.
Yeah,
there we go.
You get it?
The proof's in the pudding, right?
Ty got a new fancy phone.
Yeah, I did, right? Let's see. There you go. It's loading. Hold on.
Show off that new Motorola Edge.
Yeah, I gotta let it load. Hold on. But I got it too. It's taking me right there. There you go. Program. You can scroll right through that roster too. It'll take care of you right there.
Boom.
Beautiful too. It lets you know exactly if they're a position player, pitcher, catcher. Lets you know exactly where they're playing to, from what school they're representing. So it's top notch too. And you have both teams side by side. It's clean. It's clean.
It's clean. That's the only thing. Only way we do things
here. So make sure you tune into that too. And that's still up on our site as well. You could still find it as well on our site. And I'm sure we've had it circulating through socials as well. So you want to check that out.
I'll put that up again before the end of the show so people can get it. Ty, while we're on the subject, though, you got the new phone, which also means you were able to make some new social media accounts. So I want to give a shout out to Ty Bartel. Follow him on Twitter and Instagram. What are your handles?
I think I made it pretty simple. Ty Bartel is just the Twitter handle. So it's simple. There was no other Ty Bartels taken, surprisingly. And I believe Instagram, it's just underscores in between each one. We got Ty Bartel YSN at the end too. So underscores in between.
Ty underscore Bartel underscore YSN.
Yes, sir.
Give our buddy Ty a follow. He's going to be doing some good social media work for us, and well, not you know what I'm saying. He's going to be doing some awesome social media work, and follow him on Twitter and Instagram. And as always, you can find him on Facebook as well.
Finally got out of the Stone Age, folks.
I know.
I'm trying to get back up to date. So
the social media director at YSN just dragged you out of the Stone Ages and kind of forced you to make a social media page.
Yeah, so we're taken care of in that front. Exciting too for these upcoming seasons as well.
Ty, follow all of our announcers on social media. We have a good presence of our announcers and our workers on YSN. So
and a lot of our announcers do great work too when they're at games too, promoting where they're at too, and just promoting what's going on as well. So
follow everybody.
Absolutely.
But so Ty, congratulations and welcome to the Twitter and the Instagram.
Because it was pretty wild. It's just like there's so many people I probably need to follow to try to just catch up. I hate making new accounts like that because it's just like you start with nothing.
Go to YSN's account and follow everyone that we follow.
That's what I've been doing. I did that for Twitter until they were like, you can't follow any more people tonight.
You've reached your limit.
You reached your limit. We're Xing you out for tonight. You're done.
You're definitely a bot, and we're gonna stop you.
So, but no, it's also going to try to help me keep up to date with, especially Twitter too. Just keep up to date with a lot of these teams and a lot of these programs.
Hey, Twitter's where the fun's at.
Yeah, it seems like it anymore, right? So I guess I had to jump in on that party.
All right, so we'll be following Ty on social media now, and we're gonna actually take our second break of the day. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about stuff going on tonight, stuff going on this week, and we do have the brackets for the Little League districts and softball to talk about as well. So all that and more coming up on Running Point, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
Jimmy Sudman here, director of Isle, Purple Cat, and Golden String. We are happy to support YSN and two of my favorite people, Scotty Mincher and Super Dave O'Malley. We are an agency that provides services for adults with disabilities. We infuse humor, passion, and joy into their lives. If you know of any folks with disabilities that need our assistance, please contact us.
How lucky are we to have not one, but two 18-hole Donald Ross Championship golf courses right here in our backyards. Mill Creek Golf Course was selected by Golf Week as one of America's 30 best municipal courses, continuing to challenge golfers of all levels and featuring PGA professionals, golf instruction, a players rewards club, kids programs, and a pro shop and grill room for a memorable golf experience. Call or click to schedule your tee time at Mill Creek Golf Course.
At Greenwood Chevrolet, we offer a worry-free experience for all our customers. From sales to financing and even service, we'll help build your perfect vehicle
and lock in your trade value
while your vehicle is being built.
No worries.
We guarantee financing,
regardless of your situation or credit history.
No worries. And when your vehicle needs service,
our award-winning team will get you back on the road.
No worries.
That's what going the extra mile means. Only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Now is the time to think about your future, where you want to go, what you want to be. Your future can start now at Kent State Salem or Kent State East Liverpool. We have programs that will open doors and provide opportunities for you to pursue your passion. We are affordable. We are close. You call it hometown. We call it Kent State University. Learn more at www.kent.edu/Columbiana. You belong here.
Why choose local? Because you live here, work here, learn here, relax here, and celebrate here. 21 WFMJ is our family's only locally owned TV station, and our focus is local. Other TV stations don't have that same focus, as their owners are somewhere else. But 21 WFMJ is rooted in the Valley. Local people making decisions that affect your life, right here where you live.
When looking for home design inspiration, don't just be inspired, be Baird inspired. Whether new or remodeling, Baird Brothers has the latest trends like shiplap to refresh your home. Go from inspiration to installation with our wide selection of in-stock American hardwoods. From the rustic charm of antique oak to the warmth of traditional cherry, Baird Brothers has what you need to make your home inspiring. Baird Brothers, our family's heritage, your family's home.
Hi, I'm Colin Chupa. And I'm Kelsey Clem from K-Squared Marketing. Our boutique marketing firm specializes in media planning and buying, public relations, event marketing strategies, and strategic sponsorships. We can integrate our services with your existing game plan, or we can be your entire marketing team. Your goals, our game plan. Let's win together. Call K-Squared Marketing at 330-623-2730 or visit ksquared.marketing to learn more.
Change. This one word can make you break out in a cold sweat. But with change comes wisdom, experience, and understanding. At Myers Family Insurance, we can help make changes in Medicare, insurance, and retirement a positive experience for you and your family. We've gone through changes, like our new office and new faces to help our family of clients too.
For all your Medicare needs, call Myers Family Insurance. Check us out online at myersfamilyins.com or find us on Facebook.
Welcome back to Running Point on ysnlive.com. Anthony Hartwig alongside Ty Bartell, and as you can tell, we've put a QR code up on the screen up there, right above Ty's head, and basically that's what we were talking about. This digital program. Now the QR code's right on the screen. So if you want the digital program for tonight, all you have to do is put your camera up to that QR code, and you'll get the digital program for tonight's softball game. We will also have that on hand at YSU around the softball field. So we'll have different stations where you can take a picture of the QR code and get the rosters. Like the baseball game as well, we will have the QR code that gets you to the liability forms that we'll have players fill out before the game. Reminder that if you are 18, you can fill out yourself, but if you are under 18, your parents will have to fill out and sign that liability waiver for you. So that will be there as well as the QR code for the program.
Yep, and we'll have the QR code for you so you can get right to the lineups too, and the lineups will be nicely laid out for you as well. I can only imagine what DJ's reaction was when we put the paper up, and he's like, "Could just put that on the screen."
It works. Hey, whatever it takes, right?
Hey, it works now because now you just got it right above the head too. It's up all the time, and it's out of the way, but it's right there for you as well. So, perfect. Get that code and get your rosters.
Got some games to talk about tonight that are happening besides the All-Star game. And they are going to be at first. We'll start with the Class B games on Scene Park. We're going to have 5 games on the network from Scene Park. It's 18U night at the ball field on Mondays. And Richie Giuliano going to call 2 games. Brian calling a game, and Matt Mayer doing double duty as well, as he'll be there for a doubleheader on Scene 3.
Yeah, it should be a fun night at the ballpark too, as 18U standings still have some work to be done to shape some things out.
Last week of the regular season, Ty, why don't you go over who's playing where?
Yeah, let me look ahead at this schedule too for the 18U bracket. We got on Scene 1. It is the doubleheader with 5:30 starting. It is going to be Athletics taking on Prospects, followed by Astros taking on Creekside at 8 on Scene 1.
Talk about the rivalry renewed. Can Creekside take the thorn out of their side that's been the Asper Falcons?
They have a chance to tonight, and I believe home team now, if I'm not mistaken.
I think I almost got the hiccups, but
yeah, they are. Creekside is home team, so it's going to be interesting.
All right, we're good. My body was like on that borderline of like I'm about to get the hiccups, which is like my nightmare on the air. But it has subsided, so I don't think we're going to be hiccuping today.
You get a premier matchup with a premier voice behind it too, as Richie Giuliano going to be on those calls for Scene 1.
Scene 2, it's going to be Ian O'Brien. There's one game on Scene 2.
That Scene 2 game that's on the docket loaded in is going to be a contest between Ballistic and Dura Edge at 5:30.
And then a doubleheader on Scene 3 with Matt Mayer on the call.
Yeah, in Scene 3, it is going to be Nightline taking on Avalanche at 5:30, followed by Eagleware taking on Whiting at 8 o'clock.
All right. We'll also going to have some softball on the network that is in our All-Star game. We have Eric Hughes heading down to the Field of Dreams. He'll be doing one of the 10U bracket games. As we look at the bracket for the 10U and 12U softball districts that came out yesterday, we'll start with the 10U since Eric Hughes is going to be down there tonight. He'll be doing the game between Austintown and Poland M1. He'll be on M1 between Boardman and Canfield at 6 o'clock. And then the other matchup is going to be Austintown and Poland in 10U. That game will be on S1 at 6 o'clock. So that's the bracket for 10U. The winners play each other. The losers go to the loser bracket. And then, the championship is going to be a best 2 out of 3. And you have to beat the team that goes undefeated twice.
So it's one of those kind of brackets that shape up too.
If you are a softball or baseball fan, it's kind of like the same setup for a super regional or for a World Series, where it's double elimination, but the team that kind of wins to the championship, the other team that comes out of loser bracket will have to beat them twice to kind of get them into the championship. The dates for these games are going to be the 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th, and then once again, we'll come back after the 4th of July weekend and play the championship series on the 5th.
It's going to be exciting. It's going to be
a necessary game on the 6th for softball. If we do have to play game 3, game 2, I should say, if the loser bracket team wins the first game, the next game would be on the 6th.
These kids can hit too, so I'm excited for these matchups to see who comes out of it.
There is going to be 12U action tonight as well on Field of Dreams, and the 12U bracket kind of looks like this. Getting the bye and not playing until tomorrow is South Range. They will play the winner of Poland versus Boardman, which is happening tonight on S2 at 6. And then after them tonight on S2, it's going to be Canfield and Austintown going on as well. So we're going to have 2 games in 12U going on at the Field of Dreams tonight.
Yeah, and I mean, we're going to have a lot of things determined too for the next round going into tomorrow.
Now we are trying to find new announcers to go there because I was supposed to be there for 12U tonight, but because of the switch to the All-Star game, I will start my coverage of the 12U district bracket tomorrow with a doubleheader. But tonight it is going to be at Field of Dreams. We're trying to get someone down there, but as of now, Eric Hughes will be down there for 10U.
Yeah, and we're excited to be able to get some coverage of it too, as things have to obviously shift around depending on our schedule this year. And it's been like baseball, softball season all season, where things have to kind of move around, and so do our announcers too, depending on the games that get moved.
It's kind of a microcosm of the April and May that we had in the high school baseball, softball season, where everyone was just kind of moving around because of weather. And I think Mother Nature just had to give us one more drastic change in the schedule.
Yeah, it's the last one. We say it's the last or the goodbye to baseball and softball, right, for the high school season, and they had to say the Mother Nature had to say goodbye as well too.
Right.
Forget about the rainouts, right?
So you look at this bracket tie: Canfield, Austintown, Poland, Boardman, South Range, and 12U, and then in 10U you got 4 teams with Austintown, Poland, Boardman, and Canfield. You're going to see a lot of the future of softball in the brackets this year with 10U and 12U Little League.
That's the exciting part about these kind of games too with the Little League, is just seeing how much talent there is at this level right now, and just seeing how high the ceiling still is for some of these kids, and just how much their potential is.
I told you when we covered the rec ball championships between, for the BCB, and the jump that I see in 12U from when I saw it just 3 or 4 years ago is immaculate. I mean, these kids are starting earlier, so they're more developed when they get to 10U and 12U. Some of these 10, 11, 12-year-old kids can really smack the ball out of the yard. We saw that in the home run derby.
Yeah, we certainly did too. And I mean, they possess a lot of power, and when they could get a hold of one, they can really send one at such young ages as well. So you see that, the future is bright for this area.
You notice that the swings are just getting more like refined when the kids are younger. Like these swings are kind of not just flailing the bat out and hoping. It's like, oh man, they have a load step. They're bringing their hands to the ball. They're looking like legit softball swings already, and the kid's only 10 years old.
Yeah, swinging with a purpose.
Which it goes right into the wonderful people that coach all these kids. Obviously, they're doing a good job developing, or else it wouldn't happen the way it does.
Yeah, I mean, it starts with the youth levels, and I mean, all kinds of high school coaches will say that that's where you get these kids invested, and you can really start building talented softball and baseball players, and that goes for all sports. But it's those youth sport programs where kids really start to kind of fall in love with the sport and really start enjoying the sport and having fun with it. That's where you kind of fall in love with it first, right? You got to have fun with the sport first. So you got to make it interesting and help kids improve, but make it to where they are enjoying it as well. And it doesn't feel like a strenuous task. It's something that they want to be a part of. And these youth programs and the youth coaches in this area have done an immaculate job at, I think, just doing exactly that, getting them invested and getting them to develop while making sure that they're having a good time and enjoying themselves as well.
I can't wait to get down there tomorrow night and Wednesday night and Thursday night, and then back up for the championship on the 5th to see all these wonderful athletes kind of shine bright on the Field of Dreams stage. And that's why they call it the Field of Dreams, right? Because it's where dreams kind of become reality. They've been dreaming of representing their school, and now they get to kind of do it. They represent their community in these districts, and someone's going to win a district and move one step closer to the Little League World Series.
Isn't that exciting to hear, right? I think that's so exciting to hear. So we see what that holds too. And the Little League World Series, we've seen so many teams from so many towns be able to make it to that stage. So you never know. It could be you.
It's not unheard of because remember Poland, maybe 2013, 2014, their Little League softball team went all the way to the World Series. So not unheard of. We saw the run that Boardman baseball went on in 2019. We followed them all the way to state. So it's not like, hey, you win this district and now, you're going to go into a pool of big fish. These teams have legitimate chances of making it to a World Series.
Isn't that exciting too? Isn't that exciting to see the level that they can play to? I mean, that's always the best part. I love watching the Little League World Series, and I think they do a great job doing it up too, and how they do it in the style in which they do it. So to see that, and like you said, it's not unheard of to think that some of these teams can be that next team too. It's always exciting heading into
what
this
I
time.
love about the Little League World Series tie, and you can kind of see if you love it as much as I do. The introduction to different cultures and seeing how much the kids get along with different cultures, because you have Japan in there, you have usually Taipei's in that World Series, China brings a team, Europe brings a team, so you have these different cultures, different kids that learn different ways, and they all come together, and the camaraderie and the sportsmanship and the class between these kids from completely different cultures is one of the coolest moments in watching the World Series.
Yeah, I love seeing the cultures on full display and just how different cultures approach the game. Like Japan, for instance, I mean, just their approach to the game with so much respect held in just the sport alone.
Everybody.
Yeah, it's similar, but has its differences to American baseball. Where it's very much in respect in the game and respect in the sport.
It's respect turned up to 10 for the Japanese culture. I mean, they kind of ultimate respect.
Yeah, and I mean it's unique to see all of those cultures like you on full display.
I have a cousin that spent a lot of time in Japan, and they were telling you can get kicked out of a restaurant just for offending one of you. Here in America, you'll get kicked out of a restaurant maybe if you cause a massive disturbance, but you can go get kind of rowdy, especially at a sports bar. But in Japan, if you even offend the chef's cooking and say this cooking is terrible, they can just be like, well, get out.
Get.
It is very shameful in Japan to even publicly say this food is garbage. I don't like this food, or it's not good. You would either eat it or politely just kind of sit there and not like it. But to kind of to send it back would be a form of dishonor. To be like, this isn't what I wanted. Can you bring back some good food? That's not how they do it down there.
Back some good food.
Bring back some good food. This is not what I wanted.
Is that a quote from you in a restaurant, man? Bring back some good food.
Bring back some cheese pizza, and make sure the fries don't touch the mashed potatoes.
Do we have any cheese pizza on deck? Can I
cheese
get some
pizza, fries, chicken strips? Nothing can touch, and those mashed potatoes better not have lumps in them.
Oh my god!
Yeah, no lumpy potatoes. No lumpy potatoes.
No lump. I like a little.
I was joking, but I do not like lumpy potatoes. It's nasty to me.
No, man, you got to get a little bit of potato. It can't be.
I feel like I'm because you can't really chew them. They're kind of I feel like I should be choking on the lumps.
Choke.
I've always liked really smooth whipped mashed potatoes. I don't like the lumpiness.
Hey, I mean that's fair though. I know people. I mean that's fair if you like them more like a puree. I'm all right with a little bit of the chunky mashed.
Yeah, puree.
It's a potato puree at that point, right? If it's just if it's
smooth, you taste the butter more.
Yeah, I would say that's kind of like that. I mean, if it's a good butter, it matters.
The same thing with pulp and orange juice. You're not supposed to be feeling all that stuff in your mouth when you're drinking something.
See, I love pulp and orange juice.
Pulp is gross.
Oh my god, you're just picky.
You're picky. But pulp is gross, and I can't believe you like it. That's nasty.
Part of the orange.
And all of a sudden you have all this feels like you're drinking backwash because you're drinking and all this stuff is floating around.
Have you had some bad experiences drinking backwash? Is that what?
Maybe.
Stay away.
Theme of today's show: orange juice with pulp is nasty, and Ty's weird for liking it.
Well, we don't think that about Pulp Smoothie Bar because we still we don't want to ruin any sponsorship opportunities and by you dissing things like Pulp.
I don't think it actually means that they put pulp in their smoothies. I think that's.
Yeah, it's gonna put an X on it if they do. He's done. He's not doing.
Hey, I love smooth. The whole point smoothie. It means there's nothing else in there. There's nothing floating around in the smoothie, or else it's not smooth, right?
If you want to get a smoothie, you got to go over to Lisbon's DQ and go visit Gary.
Ooh. Gary got an emergency DQ call in the middle of the All-Star game.
He did. It's always so great to see Gary. He does a great job with that. The picture. Go check out Smug.
Came back and told us that someone ordered 150 dilly bars.
He's always fulfilling orders, man. I mean, he's doing so much for these communities as well, and a lot of the schools local around the Lisbon DQ. He always helps out, feeds them.
If you see Gary out tonight, and I think he might be there because they moved it from last night to tonight. Sunday's his real busy day at DQ, so he's very
busy on Sunday.
I think Monday. I think he said he could come down. So if you see him out tonight, make sure to thank him because not only this summer is he out there doing all the stuff for our kids and making sure they get highlighted on the Smug Mode, but he's running a Dairy Queen. So he's running a business in the summer and still making time to get down to take pictures of your kids. So one, check out our Smug Mug, and you can purchase all the pictures that Gary takes there. But two, if you see Gary out tonight, make sure to give him a high five, a shoulder rub, whatever you do to congratulate someone on a job well done. Make sure you do that for Gary.
Yeah, can't shout it loud enough too. Make sure you check out that Smug Mug too. Clean.
Maybe if you make him, maybe if you give him a big enough compliment, he'll give you a dilly bar.
Yeah, he might get you a dilly bar. No guarantees. I don't think you can guarantee that.
You really got to butter him up, but you might get a dilly bar.
You might get a dilly bar. Yeah, but you could definitely get some great pictures from Gary.
You know what you can get at the All-Star game tonight, Ty? You can get these wonderful shirts that I'm rocking for $15.
Greatest show on dirt.
Players get a shirt for coming. So we got that asked a lot on the baseball for parents that came in. Players get a shirt automatically. It's one of their things. They check in, tell us, that they're here and what shirt size they are, and we give them a shirt for coming. But if you're not a player and you want to buy one of our wonderful shirts, $15, then you can buy them at the game.
Yep, and they're great shirts too. I got mine at home. I'll have to get my second one too for the second. No, I'm kidding. We're double the shirts. No, I'm kidding.
This one, he rips it up and it's another one.
I just have another one on. Oh no, I have my baseball one on. Here's my softball one. You need to grab those shirts. They're really cool looking too. They're really slick and they're perfect too. White backdrop if you want to get some autographs on them.
I know you can autograph the back of the shirt or the front of the shirt. That's a good idea. But I might buy a shirt because I am not going to mooch for another free one. I might buy one and actually get it autographed. I don't like wearing autographs. I feel like that's sacrilege. I feel like if it's something is autographed, it should be hanging. So I might get a bunch of autographs on a new shirt and just kind of display it.
We're just going to be in line with autographs too.
Sign the softball. Here's a shirt. Here's a batting helmet. Here, can you sign my gloves too? I got everything.
It'll be a fun time too. Exciting tonight. Like you said, make sure you.
Anthony's over there fangirling and making all the players sign a bunch of stuff. I got this. I got your baseball. I got your.
I'm not as crazy as you. I'm not gonna tear their wrist up going into these games.
I got your Topps card here. You just sign it real quick.
I need you to sign 15 things.
Boom, 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 boom. But it's going to be a fun time. And once again, the autograph sessions will be available so you can get your favorite players' autographs. And what that is really for is the younger generation to make sure that they get a chance to meet and talk and an autograph from the players that they look up to that rock their programs.
Yeah, we're excited for all those young guys to be in the stands too. There was a lot of them in the baseball all-star game, a lot of young kids, and just a lot of other just kids that attended too from high schools, just supporting their teammates as well, and that was cool as well to see. And when all those kids in the stands, it's awesome.
I want to take a poll. How many kids do you think are going to be rolling down that hill at YSU? Because once you got like kids from ages like 4 to 8, when they see a hill, they cannot avoid rolling down it. Like they have to roll down the hill. I had to roll down the hill. Did you roll down hills when you were a kid?
I think I rolled down a couple of hills too. I think the one I remember rolling down and I got so dizzy on was, Rocky Ridge out in Mill Creek.
Yep.
That steep one, I rolled down that one. I got so dizzy afterwards after rolling down that whole one.
South Range Field back in North Lima, it's got that big hill that everyone kind of stands on if they don't want to sit in the bleachers. Rolled down that hill so many times as a kid. The track's at the bottom, so you had to be careful when you got to the bottom and not face plant into the track. That would not feel good. So, but some of the fun of being a child, being on the edge of danger, but not going. So many of times spent rolling down the hill at South Range.
Yeah, and that's like you said, though. It's always exciting to see the young guys that are going to be in the stands, looking up to these all-stars, and most importantly, it's going to be a fun time for all the kids and the kids playing, kids in attendance, everyone watching. That's what we're gunning for. That's what we're looking for. It should be a great night.
$5 to the door gets you in, and once again, these T-shirts will be available for $15.
There's your barcode for the rosters too, so you could scan this barcode right here and get your rosters for tonight and how they break down for Coach Pizzulo.
Don't scan Ty's head. I won't get you the roster. Scan the QR code. The QR code right there at the top right corner. We'll get you the digital program for tonight with the rosters included, and then we'll also have the QR code put around YSU's softball field tonight. And we'll also have a QR code for the liability waivers that the kids have to sign before they play.
Speaking of these rosters too, I'd like to look in on these rosters and just talk about the potential matchups we might be seeing tonight, because I think it's definitely going to be exciting to see some of these pitcher batter matchups.
What I love about the sport is like all these pitchers can hit too. There's a lot of pitchers that can rake, so we're going to see matchups between pitchers and pitchers. And then when they're not pitching, they're going to be out in the field doing work on defense, because you can't survive in softball if you can just pitch. Like you're going to have to play the defense as well. So you're going to see them shine not just in the circle, but also on the field with the glove.
That's always one of the most exciting parts, I think, is just seeing that the pitchers that can hit, because there's plenty of them that are in that category.
All right, so let's go. You want to go over the rosters? The new rosters, I guess, the new look rosters, since there are a couple of
the new rosters we can. I was going to shout out some things, but if you want to go over them real quick, we can.
Well, you shout out some things. What you were thinking.
No, I'm looking at these pitcher and hitter matchups and just seeing how things break down and where these teams have a line now. We see for Boardman, Tori Strines is going to be on Coach Pizzulo's team, and then we saw that on the other side, Maddie Lester is on Coach Schick's team. That'll be, you have a pitcher from each side, and they might have to face each other in the batter's box as well, man.
I would not want to face either one of those hitting if I was a pitcher, because they're both really good hitters. And they're both really good defensively too. Tori Strine's probably going to be locking down third base. Maddie Lester is a really good middle infielder. So we're going to see both of them shine, not just in the batter's box, but also on defense as well.
We got a couple of Austintown Fitch representatives on both sides, Maddie Taylor and Coach Schick's team, and then Ayla Ray as well as McKenna Hogan now on Coach Pizzulo's team. So that'll be fun to see those two going up against each other at some points too during the game. That's how we split it up. Poland's that same case, Mary Brand on Coach Pizzulo's team, and then you got Emily Denny and Abby Farber on the other side.
And Katie McDonald's also on Coach Pizzulo's team as a pitcher.
You're right. At the pitcher, I had to scroll up a little bit because she's in that category with the pitchers too. I was down in position players, but no, looking at this, I'm excited for some of these pitching matchups though, because you got Katie McDonald, you got Haley Croyle on one side. That's a lot, but I mean Miranda Nicholson, Brooke Tater, Milena Toth on the other side. There's so much good pitching. McKaylee Thornhill on Pizzulo, Hallie McCalla on Schick. I'm excited for a lot of these pitchers. And you talked about pitchers that can hit. I mean, that's all of them. That's all of them. I just listened to Nicolina Pizzone's another one. Like,
all-state hitter, you know.
It
hit over 600 this year.
You got a lot of NE8 talent pitchers. You got a lot of MVAC, a couple of Steel Valley Conference too. And of course, you got a couple of AAC talents too in the positions. I love these lineups too, and I'm excited to see how they're going to kind of deal things out with the pitchers per inning and what matchups we're going to see. I guess if there's a matchup you'd want to see, and pitcher and hitter, what's kind of a matchup you would most want to see? Or what's a couple matchups you'd most want to see a pitcher and batter go up against?
Let me see. See, there's some that we've already seen that we see a lot. So I'm trying to pick one that doesn't happen. Like we don't see it too often.
Yeah.
That we haven't seen this season. I would like to see like one of the Milena Toth or Brooke Tater go up and try to get out, you know, Maddie Dado, who's a great slapper, trying to keep her off the base pass, because we saw so many pitchers trying to keep her off the base pass, and it's so hard to do because she can bunt, she can drag bunt, she can slap it into the infield, or she can power slap in the outfield. Oh, and by the way, her first career at bat at South Range on the varsity team was a home run, so she can swing away too. So, like, how are you going to pitch to her? What kind of things are you going to decide to try to do? That's going to be fun. And then also, you know, on the other side, you have another really good slapper on the other side, Olivia Hare. So seeing players like Katie McDonald, Haley Croyle try to pitch to Coach Schick's slapper, who's a freshman phenom in Mohawk, that's going to be interesting to see how they handle it, because slappers are really hard to pitch to when they're at that elite level of that part of the sport.
I mean, I'm excited right now. First and foremost, I'm excited to see Haley Croyle step in the circle. But if there's a couple matchups I'd like to see right off the top of my head, I'd love to see Haley Croyle against like a Maddie Taylor, one of Fitch's hitters, just to see those 500 hitter against that. I'd also like to see, I know we got to see it in conference play, but some injuries kind of derailed Haley during the end of the season. I'd love to see Croyle against Pizzone again. Honestly, I love that battle that Haley Croyle and Nicolina Pizzone could have in the
How about this? Teammates going up against each other. So how about Katie McDonald pitching against Maria Brandt?
That'll be a fun
against Abby Farber. Excuse me. I think Farber's
these
on.
are going to be fun ones. I think, like you talked about, like Milena Toth, that kind of pitcher that can get you deep into a postseason run, had that kind of experience. I'm looking forward to her pitching on the other side against.
She'll have a teammate to try to go up against, because Bridget Kelly is a new member of this roster, and she is on Team Pizzulo.
I'm excited to see like Kylie Imes go up against a Milena Toth. Honestly,
yeah.
I think that'd be an intriguing matchup too, just to see. You called her Thunder Stick too with Kylie Imes bat, and that's exactly what she possesses. So she could get a hold of one as well. But Milena Toth's pitched against some of the best. I think that'd be an intriguing matchup.
Yeah, and then like I'm also excited to see, you know, pitchers like McKaylee Thornhill and Riley Troy and Hallie McCalla, who, like we said with baseball, don't pitch against maybe the big schools, be able to kind of show that they can still hold their own against an all-star lineup.
I think so as well. I think that's going to be fun to see them go against one another. I'm excited to see those pitchers go up against some of these hitters that they don't get to see too often. Your hitters like your Ayla Rays on this side for Coach Pizzulo, as well as hitters like you said, your Maddie Huffords for Howland as well, or your Maddie Dados, the ones that you might not see every day for some of these for these pitchers.
What's the strategy for pitching to Ray? 4 that way.
That's the case, right? But a lot of these these younger pitchers too, and a lot of these pitchers in divisions and schools for divisions a little bit lower, they really haven't matched up with them unless it's been travel ball too. So we might be seeing some matchups that either might not be new or completely new, but ones that we haven't seen in like years as well too. So it's going to be fun to see some of these duels go up against between the pitcher in the circle and the batter in the box.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun spot, and every team has 8 pitchers, 3 catchers, and the rest position players. So hopefully the plan is that your starter gets 2 innings, and then everyone else will get an inning pitched in there. 9-inning softball games. We're going to be playing 9 innings to make sure everyone gets as many at bats as possible, and all the pitchers get time in the circle. So that'll be fun. That'll be a little bit different for softball fans. Don't leave after the 7th inning. We have more softball to play. Yeah,
we have 9 innings of softball loaded in too. So it's a full game, and you're gonna see everyone get some hacks in, and everyone get some time in the circle.
Someone know what the plan is if it's tied after 9.
We gotta go with like a some sort of like either shootout, or we could just go like, I think you just gotta go like
the international tiebreaker.
Bases loaded, 2 outs.
Put runner on second. The last out, put runner on second. And be like, okay, we're going to extras, but you get that runner on second with nobody out.
I say you do that. We could even change it up. We could just say put the last 3 outs on base, load the bases, and go either 1 or 2 outs for the pitcher, and force clutch hits too.
First pitcher to have a strikeout wins the game.
Oh man, that'd be interesting too. You got to protect the plate.
Pitchers alternate.
That'd be wild. It's just like you just take some of your best hitters. So we just like take Nicolina Pizzone and Ayla Ray, and we're just like, you got to strike one of them out. So go ahead, try.
Both teams pick 1 player. They have 10 swings. Whoever hits the most home runs wins.
There's so many routes we could do with this. Who knows? Because I mean, the softball world, these girls in these all-star games always have a way of making it a show too. We saw what the basketball game
that makes me interesting. If you had to take someone on both these rosters, just one person, and they have to win the home run derby, I want you to pick 1 from each team, like you would do if you were the coach. Like they came to you, hey Coach Bartel, we're tied. We're gonna have a home run derby to decide it. You have to pick 1 player.
Coach Schick's team, I'm taking Brooke Tater.
Okay.
Freshman. I don't care that she's a freshman. She's got a thunder stick, like you'll say, Anthony. This girl can mash. She can swing it. She can get a hold of some of the best, and she's seen some of the best of the best. I'll take Brooke Tater from Howland to try to get the job done.
What about for if you had Coach Pizzulo's roster?
If I had Coach Pizzulo's roster, looking ahead on this, I would say, I think Kylie Imes is an easy one, I think, to take right off the bat, and I think that's the way you got to go. She's a name that stands out for me for her power, but also pitchers that can rake. Katie McDonald is an intriguing option just because of the power she possesses, because when she gets a hold of them, she can really send one out of there. I would probably say Kylie Imes was the first one that came to mind, and then Katie McDonald as well, but I'd say Kylie Imes. I'd go with gut too.
Okay, to go different places than you. I won't pick you the same players. I'll make it interesting. For Coach Schick, give me, give me Elena Scavina in a home run derby. I don't want to hit a ball harder than Field Dreams in her. And then on the other side, you said, did you decide?
I said Imes. Kylie Imes was the gut instinct. Right. I went Kylie Imes.
Well, I know Katie McDonald is a good pick there. I'm going to go with Mia Pollock, though. She hit 9 home runs for Ursuline this year.
I was looking at Mia Pollock, too. I scrolled real quickly. I looked at her name, glanced at it, but I settled on Kylie Imes, too. But
I would put Mia Pollock in there if I was
lineups, too.
If that situation came up and it was if I was Coach Pizzulo, I'd be like, Mia, 9 home runs. Go.
Need a home run.
Need a home run. Go.
Right now.
Mia to mash. Match it up, Mia. Let's go.
We'll see. They'll be putting on a show. We'll have a fun time tonight, folks. Make
Now
sure
I want
you
to do it. Got me all jazzed up and competitive. I want to put my players against yours.
now it's our teams.
Let's go. Let's go rent out a softball field. Bring those four to it and have a home run derby.
Home run derby picks.
team tie versus team Ant. Who's
It's like YSN street softball. That'd be if we could get like a video game department, the YSN street softball. Pick your teams. It's like high schools.
I'm telling you,
I could see your locations. You're just scrolling through different softball fields too. That'd be cool.
I'm telling you. We brought it up with some of the baseball players we've interviewed. A YSN wiffle ball league would be really fun.
I think that would be really fun too.
Like, you get some of the best high school players in the area say, "Hey, we're going to put together a wiffle ball league." If you ever watched there's professional wiffle ball on the internet.
I don't know if I've ever seen professional wiffle
And the
ball.
movement that these guys get on that pitch is sick. And instead, there's no umpires. They just put like I don't want to say it's a pit, but they put like a little strike zone back there, and you have to hit the box to get a strike. But like they have pitches that will go, they're gonna hit you, and then they break at the last second. They go in, and they hit the edge of the batter's box.
They have some nasty break on them, no doubt. I've seen some of the pitches. I have seen some guys that can throw some nasty stuff with a wiffle ball. I don't know if I've ever seen the professional league, but I've seen plenty of like clips of just pitches of guys throwing some of the nastiest stuff with the wiffle ball.
And it's from like 30 feet away. So it's like, hey, here you
go. On quick.
And then like tanks and wiffle ball aren't easy to hit like people think it are. But when the ball's moving like that and you have a small yellow thin bat
like this big or like
hitting tanks and wiffle ball, not easy, even on that
you
really
square it up on a bat that's like the size of a nightstick.
It's a super condensed field. Like it looks like it might be 60 feet to dead center, like 30 feet behind the pitcher, but doesn't matter.
Tough to square up for sure.
Tough indeed, Ty. Before we get out of here, let's go over the games at a glance one more time for tonight and let everyone know what will be on the network tonight. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games on the network, including our All-Star game at 7 o'clock. Ty, you and me will be on the call there. We have a doubleheader on Scene 1 and a doubleheader on Scene 3, and then one game on Scene 2 in Class B baseball. 18U action tonight. It'll be Richie Giuliano on Scene 1. It'll be Brian on Scene 2, and then it'll be Matt Mayer on Scene 3, and then Eric Hughes will be down at Field of Dreams for softball districts.
We're excited as Bob Scene Park will be covered too with some big matchups tonight as well. So if you're going to be at the softball game, I'd let you know. I'd tune into ysnlive.com/live and take a peek over those Bob Scene games tonight because there's going to be some good matchups. So you're going to want to tune in on those scores.
Bring a couple of devices. Have one logged into the Scene Park and to Class B baseball. Then have one so you can listen to me and Ty while you're watching it live.
Yeah. So you can hear all the buffoonery and high class jackassery from both Anthony and I.
Hey, wait a minute. I think you're lowering expectations here.
No, it's always a fun time when we get into a booth, and I always like calling a great softball game, and it's going to be some of the best on our field tonight. So I'm excited for tonight, as you could tell.
We're all excited. We can't wait. We can't wait to talk about all the results and all the fun stuff that happens tomorrow on tomorrow's show from 12 to 2 on Running Point. Casual Sports Podcast will be coming up next from 2 to 3. Power Hour from 3 to 4. And then we'll get you right into the night as Class B baseball starts at 5:30. Little League District start at 6, and then the All-Star game at 7. So, if you go from 12, we're going to be broadcasting that All-Star game until probably after 9 o'clock. So it's going to be 9 hours of content for you on ysnlive.com today.
Yeah, and I would likely think that Power Hour will probably keep this kind of barcode up as well. So make sure you get the scans in for the barcode for tonight's lineups. Well, not lineups, I should say tonight's rosters on both sides of the team. For
Yep, this is the digital program QR code, which will be here. It will be on the Power Hour, and it will also be at YSU softball field to scan and get your digital program. We'll also have the QR code for players to sign the liability form. We'll just go through the whole housekeeping one more time. The game starts at 7. Gates open at 5:30. Player check-in also starts at 5:30. So if you're a player out there and you want to know what time to get to YSU, 5:30 is when we will start checking in players. As far as players go, wear a high school uniform if you can, whichever one you like. Whichever one was your favorite uniform to represent. If you can't, we do hope that you can wear something that will identify yourself for the announcers, umpires, and coaches. So something with a number on it. That's all that. Player check-in 5:30. We'll have the programs available. We'll have the liability forms available on QR codes. And we're going to have a lot of fun tonight at the YSN All-Star Game at YSU Softball Complex. 7 o'clock start time, first pitch. And we're going to have some fun stuff in store for everybody that comes into attendance.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Make sure you get there.
All right, Anthony Hartwig, Ty Bartel, we're taking a 22-hour break. We'll be back tomorrow from 12 to 2. Once again, Casual Sports Podcast coming up next from 2 to 3. Power Hour coming at you from 3 to 4. And then we have a bunch of games on the network tonight from 5:30 all the way down into 7 o'clock to start for the All-Star Game. So don't miss a minute of the action on YSN tonight or tomorrow